This week has focused on the law of supply. That's the second law in the series of 11 laws that I will cover in the next weeks. And the law of supply is, well, you can't go one without the other. So it would be very strange to say that this law is the most important law. No, all the laws make one big law. And the law of supply, once you understand it and once you can apply it in your life, it can change everything. And that counts for every law that we will cover in the next week. So welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, Rich Thoughts. And in this channel, I cover everything what I learned from Bob Proctor and what I'm still learning by studying the materials that Bob Proctor provided me and directed me to, like read this book, but don't read it once, read it on repetition, because in the repetition there is a virtue. It's by repetition that you will change your paradigms. So without any further ado, let's dive into the law of supply, and I hope you will like it. No, I'm sure that you will like this law, the law of supply. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you like sports? Do you like to support sports or to watch sports? Well, I like sports, and I also occasionally I like to watch sports, and that can be a variation of sports. I don't have one sport that I like more over the other. Maybe rugby, because that was a sport that I played for more than 15 or 20 years. So rugby I like, but I like cycling, I like darts, I like whatever. And when I'm watching sports and I really enjoy watching the game, you always want that the athlete outperforms himself. Isn't that strange? That we don't sit back and say, well, Johnny, don't go too hard today. You have done it last weekend. You have been very hard. You did perform very well. Go slowly. No, we always want to see someone outperform himself. It's something inherent in us that we want to jump higher. We want to run faster. We have that urge to become a better version of ourselves. And we enjoy it when we see other people also outperform themselves. And that's not only in what's in the sports itself or what is done at that moment, if it's 100-meter dash or a run in 10 seconds or in 9 seconds, it's the effort that we enjoy the most. When a young athlete does its best and outperforms itself, and you see the effort in it, we enjoy it as much as a high performance athlete that maybe didn't have that best day. That learns us that if there is that urge of become better and becoming a better version of ourselves, but also creating better things, then there needs to be supply. And if we are agreeing on the fact that we're having that urge and that there's something in us that creates our life to become better and create better things, then there need to be an unlimited supply. Because otherwise, if that wouldn't be, then we would have already run out of all the things that we ever could have enjoyed. And that's not the case. Everything what we ever will use in this universe, and there is only one universe in my belief, is already omnipresent. It's only not in the form that we know it already. And that's a statement that if you think about it, that will help you in your business, because nothing can ever become something, and something can never become nothing. So clients can't go away. They are always there. Maybe you didn't notice them or you didn't address them well, but there is nothing that ever can become something, and something can never become nothing. It's a cycle. It's only transfers or transmutates from its form. The acorn that you plant in the ground will attract the nutrients. That nutrients that is in the soil, in the dirt, that will create the first roots of the acorn. And then at the acorn, the first roots are there, then it will sprout, it will push itself through the soil. Then it encounters light, and light is emitted, and the first sprout is like capturing that energy of the light. And in the meantime, the root is doing its roots are doing their work also. And now it's pushing and pushing and pushing, and it becomes a tree. From where does a tree come? It was already there. It was already programmed in the acorn. Now the soil is absorbed by the roots, nutrients are brought into the acorn, and we are creating a tree. It takes time. But then over time, after 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, the oak tree is standing in the middle of a field and is struck by lightning. The tree falls down and is now transforming to minerals again, and it will be absorbed by the soil. And there it starts again. Did the acorn ever disappear? No. Did the tree ever disappear? Did the soil ever disappear? No. It just transformed from form. And if you understand that everything what you need is already there, then it becomes a total other ball game. It becomes a total other, your perspective on business, on life can totally change. The clients I need, or that I want, that I desire, are already there. I only have to transform maybe my offer, so that they understand that I can serve them. Now, there is something that stuck me already for a long time, is that if you see what we are inventing, if you see all the businesses, if you see everything that we do, there is one common thing that I notice. And maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I would like it to read it in the comments. But it's something that I really observe, and I'm convinced about it, that we are driven by our own laziness. Everything what we do is driven by our own laziness. And I explain myself. It's like the law of economics. It's like the law of energy. We don't want to waste energy. So in the time that we were traveling with a horse and a carriage behind, that was the best thing that we could think of. And that was already a lot of progress, because before that we have to walk everything. Now we are already moving and creating transport that's much more efficient. But before we had the first carriage, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of energy, it took a lot of trial and effort from certain persons to create a wheel. And from that first wheel, we are creating the first carriage. And from there on, someone was thinking, well, that's good, but if the horse is sick, we can't move anymore. It would be better, and it would be easier, and it would take less effort and time if we have something that is more mechanical. And then the car was invented. Now, the car was invented, but it took a lot of effort. So we are very busy to create something that will serve more people to become more efficient in the task that they want to perform. Take Elon Musk now. At this moment, he is very busy. It took a lot of energy, time, research to create humanoid robots. Those humanoid robots, what is their task? Well, their task will solely be to create our life more easy, so that we don't have to perform that much task. So again, it will serve our laziness. So we are so busy to create more things so that we can serve our own drive for less friction, faster, more convenient. And that's maybe the thing where you have to look at in your own business. If you want to create an offer, or you want to develop your business, is what is faster than your industry does at this moment? Can I create an offer or a solution that's faster, that brings the solution faster for my client than what we are doing now? Can I do it with less effort? That can be, is it more convenient? So like Amazon, it's more convenient to have one place where you can buy everything. Before you had to shop in thousands of stores. Now you have one store where you can buy thousands of things. That's more convenient. It's faster. So therefore, Amazon is a big success. And maybe in your business, you can also find a solution and think, what is faster? Where can I get the friction away? What is easier to access? And that can be the next offer you have. And then you will create the demand, because that's the next topic. Is what is first? Is first supply or is first demand? Well, most people, they create first supply. They invent something, they create an offer, they create a course, they create something, but they didn't check the demand. You first have to check the demand, and then, or create demand, create the awareness of the demand, and then the supply will always follow. If we just take the idea of internet. When I first discovered internet, it was like in the 90s. You had to phone in, it's like a dialing system, you have to phone in, beep, beep, and then you got the internet. It was already a big step forward, but it was very slow. The demand for faster internet created the engineer, pushed the engineers to create another system of internet. And then we got the fast wired internet. Now, to have access to that fast wired internet, they needed to bring cables all over the country. So the demand was that big that there were companies who were capable and able and willing to dig all over the country to lay down the cables to ensure that you can have fast internet. And now in Europe, most of the countries have in every city, in every corner of the country, we have fast internet. But then you have again Elon Musk say, well, there is still demand for internet and fast internet, and not everyone has a cable. So I'll create satellites. And that's where Starlink was born. Starlink was just an answer for a demand that was created, the demand for fast internet. So if you take that back to your business, is what are your customers now experience? What is the experience of your customers? How can you create an offer or a solution that is faster, more convenient, and then you can create the supply for that, and you will sell as easy as peasy easy. So that's about demand. It is first always demand, and then the supply will follow. If we understand now that everything what we need is already omnipresent, then your focus shouldn't be anymore on lack. You always have to create that focus of better and good and even more creative. And how can we create that awareness of better solutions or better understanding of our market? Well, it all comes to imagination. And that's one of our 5 higher faculties. Imagination will will bring you from your 5 senses, what you hear, see, taste, touch, to a new world where you can create new items, new ideas. If you only stick with what you see, hear, taste, touch, you can only create a copy of what there is already. Now, there are exercises to train your imagination. And one of the exercises is that you can do, and I would like you to invite you to do this exercise, is when you have an object, like I have my mouse here, and I can observe my mouse at this point, and the moment I observe my mouse, I just take a clear mental picture of it, And then I close my eyes, and then I try to recall the image of that mouse. And you will notice that's not that easy in the beginning, because the image is not connected with or an emotional thing, or it hasn't been it isn't a repetition. Yeah, if you look 1,000 times at that mouse and you try to recall it, you will recall it easily. I mean, the first time it will be more difficult. The next part is what you do is you observe your mouse, and once you get the mental picture of your mouse clearly on your mental screen, then you try to change some characteristics of that mouse. If the mouse is black, for instance, well, close your eyes. Now you see that mouse, and turn it yellow, or only this little wheel. Turn that little wheel yellow in your imagination. And you will find out that in the beginning it's very challenging to play with imagination if you haven't impressed yourself with that clear picture of that mouse. It's much easier if you, for me, for instance, here in Europe, if you think of the Eiffel Tower. Well, the Eiffel Tower is such an iconic image. We have seen it that much. It's very easy to recall. But then if you see the Eiffel Tower and then change characteristics or see it more in detail, zoom in on it, that becomes more difficult. And by doing this exercise, and you will stimulate your imagination, and that will help you with creating new offers or new solutions for your clients. Because now you can see the problem of your client, and now you can start to play with it. And if you calm down, then you will find new solutions. That's the way that Newton did it. That's the way that Edison did it. They're taking a nap. They go with their problem in their mind, searching for the solution just in the state before sleeping. And that's where they often see the first hinges or the first ideas of their new invention or the next step in their invention. I hope you enjoyed this video on the law of supply. Know that there is always enough, that there is nothing that disappears and nothing that can be created. It's already here, it's only transformed. So all your clients are here, all the love that you need is here, all the friends that you want are here. You just have to become aware of it. And that makes the difference between rich mentality and poor mentality. When I was raised in a middle-class family, when we had like a cake and rather a lot of participants on the table, we start to slice that cake. And we tried to slice that cake so that everyone got an even part. But sometimes the cake was rather small, so then the slices became so tiny that it didn't, but there was not much cake for everyone. And that was a mentality. You slice it down till everyone has a little piece. That is poor mentality. Rich mentality is, well, we experience that we need more cake. Instead of slicing down the cake, how can we create more cake? What does it need to create a second cake or a larger cake? And that is thinking in better, more, instead of how can I adjust myself to the lack that I see at this moment. Take this as the last note. Create more cake. Create a bigger cake instead of slicing it down till everyone has a little piece. See you next video. Next video is the law of attraction, and that will be for next week. Till the next one.